With some breaking news right now, rap mogul Suge Knight has been arrested in Las Vegas.
Each faces a robbery charge for allegedly stealing a camera from a female celebrity photographer last month in Beverly Hills. Just minutes ago, Metro sent us Knight's mugshot.
With the law before and now could face some serious time if convicted, up to 30 years. Katt Williams, meanwhile, known for his stand-up comedy, will reportedly have his bail set at $75,000. Prosecutors seeking $1 million for Suge.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your buddy Philko here reporting live from Chile, Russia. And once again, Suge Knight is all up in the news, and this time he got his buddy Katt Williams right next to him. They got arrested, bail's being set, all that. You all heard it. I don't want to go over it. You know what's going on. But let me go on a little bit with my opinion on Katt Williams, and once again, another video I'm doing on Suge Knight. Now, the other video I did on Suge Knight got a lot of views. I say within like 2 months, got a good 50,000 views. You know, I'm very satisfied with that. What I was talking about was how Suge Knight went from being like the most feared dude in hip-hop to being just another dude. Now, the old news clip I showed, they said he was a rapper. He's not a rapper, he's a rap mogul. He had something to do with, but he didn't start. He had something to do with, you know, the careers of Snoop Dogg, a little bit of Dr. Dre, you know, something to do with Tupac, but he didn't start their careers, you know, he had a hand in it, okay? Also with the Dog Pound, you know, when he had Corrupt, well, not the Dog Pound, but certain people from the Dog Pound, like, remember, he had Corrupt, he had Daz with him. I remember he was just like on and off with those West Coast guys that had beef and they didn't have beef, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, Katt Williams is apparently mad cool with this dude. There's a video of Katt Williams speaking about the shooting when Suge Knight got shot up at the Chris Brown party. There's a video of Katt Williams talking about Suge Knight, and the way he was talking about him, he was just defending him like they were like really good friends, you know? So I never knew Katt Williams and Suge Knight were close, but they're close. They'll be even closer in a jail cell until they post bail, which they probably did already, because, you know, both of them got money. I don't know about Suge Knight. I don't think he might have ran out of money, but Katt Williams, he definitely gotta have bread. That dude is mad fucking funny. But as it comes to Suge Knight's intimidation factor, where is his intimidation factor now? If he has to stoop down to stealing a camera from a paparazzi instead of having his boys do it when he's nowhere in sight, I would have to say it seems he's losing power. It really seems he's losing power. I don't know if you guys remember, I might show the clip, but y'all remember he's kind of the reason that whole East Coast, West Coast thing started. He started that shit. I don't know if y'all remember, but he got up on the stage and he was all like,
And one other thing I'd like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing.
Videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to death row. You know, they lift his shirt up, you see his stomach, and he gets hit in the face by his friend's elbow. Yeah, all that happened. He kind of started that whole East Coast, West Coast shit. It was kind of him. You know, people were booing him and stuff, and then Puff Daddy went up there, and he was like, you know, all this East Coast, West Coast bullshit needs to stop. You know, we're a family. I'm very proud of Death Row. You know, I've noticed that. During that whole East Coast, West Coast thing, there were good and bad things about both sides. And you know, I'm going to get on that. There were good and bad things, both sides on that East Coast, West Coast shit. The good thing about the East Coast was that the East Coast was really trying to keep peace. At times they would put things out there, you know, let's keep peace. All this East Coast, West Coast shit is stupid. Let's keep the peace. That's what was happening a lot from the East Coast dudes. They were putting in records, you know, keep the peace. But the bad thing about the East Coast dudes, I meant to say East Coast. If I said West Coast, sorry, I'm talking about East Coast. The bad side about the East Coast dudes were a lot of them would talk shit subliminally and talk shit about the West Coast dudes behind their back. And a lot of us East Coast people were type mad because, I don't know how it was in Cali, but out here in America, on the East Coast, but on the East Coast, you would hear people screaming West Side and blasting West Coast music. So a lot of us were really kind of, you know, pretty jealous of the West Coast success at that time. Their success didn't last that long, to be honest. But still, while Tupac was around, you know, they had success, Dog Pound, Snoop, all that. They were pretty big, you know? So a lot of us was hate. So that's good and bad. The good and bad of the West Coast. The good part of the West Coast was that they were bumping. They were just bumping. They were bumping everywhere, all across the country, like Bow Down. Y'all remember that record, Bow Down, When I Come to Your Town? Cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a side that's greater than you. That song was fucking #1 all across the country, except for New York. That track was #1 all across the country, #1 song, except for in New York. We weren't blasting Bow Down. Same with California Love. That shit was #1, except for in New York. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we felt the wrath, we were jealous, they were bumping. The bad side about the West Coast niggas is that they were too fucking ignorant. Like, they were kind of the opposite of the East Coast niggas. Like, you hear West Coast niggas in a song talking about, yeah, New York's my hood, blah, 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 all this shit, saying all this ignorant shit. But when you speak to West Coast people on camera, they're so quick to be like, oh, we don't really have problems with them, you know. There's a lot of money in New York. We're not trying to separate ourselves. There's a lot of money over there. We're trying to stay cool with New York, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then they make a record stepping on New York buildings, but then in the next breath in an interview like, nah, you know, we cool with them, blah, blah, blah. So what the fuck? So both sides had their on and off shit. But I'll tell you just like this. There was a rapper, I forgot who said it, but he said it perfectly. He was like, he said some shit like, too many East Coast rappers trying to be gangsters. Too many West Coast gangsters trying to be rappers. Something like that. I don't know if I can find it. Too many. I forgot who said it. I can't find it. I can't find it. But yeah, that's what he said. I'll never forget it. If any of you know it, please send it to me. Please send it to me. I don't remember who said that shit. He was like, too many East Coast rappers trying to be gangsters. Too many West Coast gangsters trying to be rappers. Because at that time, don't get it twisted, East Coast and West Coast, they were both real gangsters at the time. New York, Brooklyn, in the 90s, crazy crime rate, just like in Compton. You know, there was really no difference. But I would say the only difference with the California niggas is that when they usually said something, they meant it a little more. When they said like, I'll blast a nigga, they'd really do it. The East Coast niggas moved a little more in silence. Like, they would body you, but they wouldn't announce it more. They're a little smarter with it. The West Coast niggas just like, they'll show you a gun, all this rah, 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 I'll do this, do that, and they'll say it, and they'll actually do it. But the East Coast niggas be like, yo, I'll blast you, I'll do this and that. They might not do it. They might wait a few months or some time, it might get you by having someone else do it for them. So I would say the East Coast dudes were more smart, the West Coast dudes were more brutal. They will fucking spray you and your whole family with an AK and then take a picture. Like, they were mad fucking brutal. Like, if 10 East Coast niggas met up with 10 West Coast niggas with the same weaponry, odds are the West Coast niggas would survive. At least they would win, so to say, because they don't need that many words to just start dumping. They just start dumping. The East Coast niggas will try to politic a little bit, like, yo, y'all niggas got a problem with something, blah, 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 try to politic a little bit, but the West Coast niggas probably won't even politic, just start dumping, which gives them an advantage over the East Coast niggas. But it's not good, not saying this is good. Just trying to explain the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast niggas. There was a difference. I mean, East Coast and West Coast niggas met back then. You know, I know you guys, well, that wasn't even East Coast, West Coast. That was East Coast to East Coast. The shooting outside of Hot 97. In LA, East Coast niggas met up with West Coast niggas. Death Row and Bad Boy met up. A gun was drawn, but no one got hurt. That was one. You also had some bitch-ass incident. This is way after East Coast, West Coast, but you had the Game when he had beef with 50. He came with all his West Coast homies to New York. They hopped in cabs, went to see 50 Cent. 50 Cent's bodyguard came out and like shot one of them in the leg. Some shit like that, and that was the situation. It was some bitch-ass situation. I don't know many situations of East Coast and West Coast dudes meet, but I'm just saying, back then the West Coast niggas were way more brutal. They would actually do shit to you after they said. East Coast niggas were, in my opinion, better at rapping, better being lyrical. They may threaten you, but odds are they most likely won't do it, you know? So West Coast niggas followed their word more. East Coast niggas talk more shit. West Coast niggas didn't have time for that. Like, they live for that Bloods and Crips shit, this rah-rah, this, that. Like, yo, they live to just fucking kill a nigga for just saying the wrong thing. Like, they were way more brutal than the East Coast niggas. And Suge Knight was one of the most feared back then, but now, I don't know. So let's say, I think before this video goes, leave your opinion, I love it. Let's just say back then, Suge Knight was like a 10. Let's say his gangster level was 10. Where is it now? My opinion, I would say like, I don't know, man. Maybe a 4? Maybe a 4? Ever since that one guy knocked him out, his gangsterness started going down. He started losing Twitter followers. You know what I mean? And that's basically it, people. Let me know what you think. I'm out. Later.
This video has been brought to you by Philko. And for closed captioning, I'd like to say, Mr. Suge Knight, if you ever watch this video, please don't kill me. It's just my opinion, my nigga. I'm not gangster. You are. No matter how not intimidating you are compared to how you used to be intimidating, you'll always be able to intimidate me. So please, my nigga, don't come after me. Don't try to kill me. Just make it a video. And that's basically it, people. I'm out. Later. Knuckles.